Hello friends, how are we doing? I feel like it's been forever since I sat down and filmed a sit-down video. I feel like it's been so long. But today, I'm very late, okay? I know, this is very late. We're filming my most anticipated releases of the first half of 2026. Listen, January was crazy with the move, but I'm here now, and this video is as much for me as it is for you. I'm sure most of you who are like dedicated readers have already got your spreadsheet with your most anticipated releases on, and you're like, Megan, I've heard all this already. I've already decided if I want to read that book or that book. But I needed to do this for me.
We need this. This is essential. This is a crisis.
I needed to get back in the reading world, the reading headspace. I've been very out of it. I haven't been like, usually in my brain there's a constant information of what books are coming out that I'm excited for. I've had no concept of that. I've really not, I've not been plugged in. But yeah, we're going to talk about my most anticipated release of the year. Now, usually I just kind of include books from authors I've read from before that are coming out with a few others. I think I've gone a bit overboard. I think there's like 50 books here. And a lot of them are like debuts and stuff that sound really good to me. Now, as someone who's only read like 3 or 4 books so far this year and envisages myself reading less this year and also envisages myself getting my TBR down,
it's not adding up.
Having 50 new releases for the first half is certainly a choice. It's certainly a choice. But shall we just dive into it? Now, what I've done is I go through and I read all the synopses on my own time with great detail, but bear in mind I've just read 50 synopses. There's 50 synopses rattling around up in this like pea brain. And then I try and just basically tell you why you should care about this book. We're not going to go in deep in the synopsis. We're not going to go deep on what's happening in the book. I'm going to tell you why I'm interested in a book and why you should be too. Should we just dive into it? Let's start in January. First book is Beth is Dead by Katie Burnett, Little Women murder mystery retelling. What do I need to say to you?
That actually means a lot to me.
Beth is murdered and the sisters are going to find out who did it. However, they also each have their own motive. Is it one of the sisters? Is it someone in the town? Who could it be? That's basically what we need to know. It is YA. That does make me a little bit nervous, but Little Women murder mystery retelling. Next, we have Through Gates of Garnet and Gold. This is like number 11 or something in the Wayward Children series by Sean Maguire. Now, usually I have a rule that I don't put a new release in a series on the list unless I'm like up to date in the series and that's the next one. However, there's a few in here that are sneaks, I think, where I'm like super far into the series, but maybe I haven't read the most recent one, and this is one.
The rules don't apply.
Technically, it shouldn't be on here, but it's a Wayward Children book, so, what do you expect me to do? Not include it? In this one, we are following Nancy, who, if you've read some of the series, is a bit of like a fan favourite. I really enjoyed Nancy in the books, and I'm excited to see her back. This is about like kids who go into these portal worlds that are perfect for them, and hers is like the halls of the dead, where people like don't move, and something goes wrong, and she has to go get her friends from Eleanor West School for Wayward Children to help her out. The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead is basically Daisy Jones and the Six, and I'm very excited for it. We're following, I think, like an up-and-coming rock and roll band, but I think this one is to do with, I think the main character loses someone close to her, they pass away, and so it's very much an exploration of grief and her trying to keep it together while also having this huge amount of fame. I like a fame book. I like a band book. So I'm excited for this. Ashley Winstead has 2 releases coming out this year, and they are both very exciting for me. Ashley Winstead, I got my eye on you, girl. I'm watching you, following you. Okay, then let's talk about Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. One of the most hyped releases of the year. One I have been very excited about. This is Jeanette McCurdy's fiction debut. As most of you know, she wrote her memoir that was super duper popular. And this is her fiction debut. It's about a relationship a student has with a teacher and like the power dynamics and all of that. I have watched interviews. I watched her Call Her Daddy interview about this, and I have been very, very excited about this. However, the reviews have started coming in. I think it's got like 35,000 ratings. It's got under a 3.5 average. That makes me nervous. That makes me a little bit nervous. Maybe, I want Girlie to be a writer. You know what I mean? I thought she wrote so well in her memoir, and I envisage her being an incredible fiction author. This is what she wants to now do as her career. But I am nervous. And I think, yes, this is a story that should be told again and again, right? Abuse of power. This has never been more pertinent. The way that men abuse vulnerable girls. But this specific thing, obviously, My Dark Vanessa was a super popular book about student who has a relationship with a teacher and the power dynamics. And a lot of people have been comparing it to that and not in the best way. Like saying that My Dark Nurse was better and this doesn't have as much nuance. So we will see. But yeah, it hasn't had the best review so far, and that does make me a little bit nervous. A Box of the Darkness by Simone St. James. There's a few synopses that don't really stick in my brain, and I fear this is one of them. But Simone St. James books, I like going into blind. I believe this one is about some is this the one? Oh, I think... Okay, editing Megan will tell me if I'm right. I'm really trying to go off my brain here. By the way, I've also got an injury where I've like pinched a nerve in my neck and I've got like an ear-splitting headache all up through the back of my head, and talking is making it really bad. So if you ever see me slightly disassociate in my eyes, it's because the pain has got too powerful. And it's worse when I laugh, so let me try not to laugh. Oh my god. I think this is the one where it's siblings, two sisters coming back to this house where their brother went missing, and he's maybe his ghost, or there's something pointing them towards a secret that they have to find out about.
Correct.
Oh, thank you. I got a point.
Simone St. James books always have this little element of ghostliness, of a little paranormalness sprinkled in to different levels throughout her books, but I always really enjoy it. So I'm excited to read it. Then we have one I'm super excited about, one of my most exciting books, Gumshoe by Brenna Thumler. I love Brenna Thumler. Brenna Thumler wrote the Lights graphic novel series, which it turned into one of my favorite graphic novel series. I love that series so much. I love her illustration style. I love what she says in her books. I love the way she illustrates emotion. And this one I think is about a girl, this like kid who is really obsessed with like delivering mail. So she starts volunteering to deliver mail, but then she's like, people think she's like this mail stealing bandit that's going around. She gets like mistaken identity for this bandit. And so she's like, okay, the only way to fix this is I'm gonna find this like 10-year-old or like 12-year-old or something. I'm gonna find this bandit, this mail stealing bandit, and bring them to justice. I love Brenna Thumler stuff, so I can't wait. This is one of my most exciting releases. Paper Cut by Rachel Taff. We've reached a stumbling block. Hold on. I think this is the one where it's a girl who like killed someone. Trouble is, I have a few books that have quite similar synopses. So is this one who killed someone escaping a cult? Yes. I was right. It's about a woman who has murdered someone escaping a cult. There's a documentarian who wants to make her the subject of his new film. We're reading about the documentary. We're also reading her memoir about what happened. This one sounds very intriguing. And this is an exciting debut. There's a few exciting debuts on here. What can I say? The Found Object Society by Michelle Marek. I don't remember putting on here. Someone must have recommended this to me. So I don't remember putting it on here, but there must have been a reason I really wanted to put this on here. I think this is about, like, this woman gets a note through her door saying, you have now been invited to this, like, society that gives you the power to, like, if you pick up an object, see the past of that person, or see how that person who owned it died or something. I don't know. I gotta be honest, reading synopsis this time didn't grab me, but there must be a reason why it grabbed me once upon a time, and I added it to the spreadsheet. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson is about a woman. It's about a woman who goes on this speed dating date night, but murder starts happening, and it's like a horror, and it's Final Girl, and she has watched a lot of Final Girl movies, and she's like, I know what not to do. I am gonna survive this. She comes face to face with a killer.
Regular scarves have the ends where the killer can come and just finish you off. I don't want to play music in the shower because I want to hear if the killer is coming. Don't you keep a bat from Yankee Stadium in your night table drawer? They're so convenient. All you have to do, clunk one time with the killer.
It sounds bloody, it sounds gory, but it also sounds a bit ridiculous. It sounds really fun. In Her Defense by Philippa Malika sounds super duper interesting. It's about this like celebrity libel case that's happening about, it's like a famous woman's daughter. I think she's suing like a psychologist or something. And it's a super famous trial that's happening, but then it turns out that someone who used to work for this celebrity actually may have the truth of the situation. There's something about it, something about the cover that really intrigues me. I think it's already been picked as like a Reese's selection book. I think this is gonna be a big book of the year. Agnes Orbert's Mystical Cat Shelter technically doesn't come out in the UK till February 17th. I saw it the other day in Waterstones. I saw it like 5 days ago in Waterstones. That's like a week and a half early, 2 weeks early. It was out on the shelves.
Wait a minute. I'm figuring this out.
This is is by the author, this is Heather Fawcett, this is the author of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia for Fairies. I didn't love Emily Wilde's, but I think the problem, I didn't love Emily Wilde and what was the geezer's name? Wendell? That's come from the recesses of my brain. I don't know if that's correct. I didn't love their dynamic. I wasn't into their relationship. However, I have wanted to try out Heather Fawcett stuff again. So this is about a woman who is running like a cat shelter. I mean, I love it. I'm obsessed with cats. A woman running a cat shelter and she gets help from this handsome warlock. Whoa, I feel like I'm having a brain aneurysm. The handsome warlock. I'm excited. The cover's great. I can't wait to read it. The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives is about these three women whose husbands were all serial killers. I think this is set in like the 1960s as well. So they're all housewives. And then a new sprint of murders starts happening and they're like, we're gonna solve this because we lived with these men without knowing they were murderers. So surely we should like now be able to figure out what some of the signs are and we're gonna be detectives and we're gonna solve these murders. Very exciting. Whitby by T. Kira Madden. I believe this author has written quite a well-known memoir, but this is her fiction debut. And this seems like quite like a literary mystery thriller. I think it's gonna be one of the more popular literary releases of the year. And it's about three women, we're following three perspectives who are all tied to this man who I think abused two of them. And I think his mother is the other perspective we're reading from. Whitby is an island, so I think they're traveling back to this island and I think he's murdered and they want to find out the truth of certain things, discover certain things. It sounds like an interesting literary release. How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Phillipson. We're following a Scotland Yard detective. Ooh, I should not have moved my head like this.
Nurse. You're like, ooh, nurse. Nurse. Yeah, because she needs help. And nurses help people.
We're following a Scotland Yard detective who is, I think, coming back from like maternity leave or some kind of leave of absence and wants to solve this case that is happening about a self-help book that is seemingly giving people perfect instructions on how to get away with murder. Sounds super fun, sounds super interesting, super unique. I just love murder mysteries, guys. Here's the thing, there's quite a lot of murder mysteries and like mysteries on here that like I shouldn't have added. They're like debuts or something, but they sound really intriguing, and so I had to. I missed one. I missed a February release, The Final Problem by Arturo Perez Roberto. I missed off the end of I can't see the end of his name on my screen. This is a book translated from Spanish, and it's like a love letter to classic golden age of detective stories. It's set like in 1960s on a Greek island, and there's a murder, and I think there's an actor who plays a detective on TV, so everyone like involved in the murder who's left behind is like, you should solve this, you know? You know, like the story of when Reese Witherspoon was made to be the jury, what's the word? Like the lead jury person, the jury for person on a trial where she had to be on the jury for because everyone was like, you went to legal school. She's like, I literally didn't. I just played Elwords. Yeah, everyone decides this actor should solve the murder. I love the cover. It really looks like a love letter to golden age of murder mysteries. Okay, where did I get up to before? This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crump. I think this is another debut. We're following this really popular podcast. We're following the two hosts. I think they tell stories about like how miraculous survival stories, like someone surviving a situation that they shouldn't have. One of the co-hosts goes to the home of the other co-host and her husband and discovers them missing, and it's pretty obvious, I think, that they have been kidnapped, and it's the story trying to uncover what's happened. I think this is going to be another big release this year. The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez is Abby Jimenez's newest release. I still haven't read Say You Remember Me, but this one, it's a boyfriend's best friend pining. It's a girlie, and her boyfriend's best friend is in love with her. Abby, I put myself into your hands. I trust you. Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher. T. Kingfisher's horror release of the year. It's about this woman who I think gets invited to this... Oh, Dita's getting up, everyone. The box that she's sleeping on has lost all structural integrity. I'm very concerned about it. Are you switching boxes because you realise that that box is fucked? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, she gets invited to this guy's house. I can't remember, there's like terminology for what kind of scientists are, but he's a collection of insects and she goes to illustrate them. However, it becomes clear something is wrong in this house. I think I read in the synopsis like human flesh eating maggots that, do all maggots eat human flesh if they have the opportunity? I don't know. I don't know in that regard. But it's something to do with maggots. Maggots are going to be a big part in this. That makes me a bit concerned, but T. Kingfisher, I love her horror, so I'm excited for it. The Escape Game by Marissa Mayer and Tamara, sorry, it's cut off the end of the co-author's name, Tamara Moss. This is a YA, So again, a little bit nervous about it, but it sounds intriguing. It's about this show called The Escape Game. And last season, one of the contestants was murdered. And 6 months later, they're like, yeah, get another season in. And we're following the season, including, I think, one of the contestants is the sister of the person who was murdered. And it's a reality show about escape rooms. So they're having to escape rooms, but I assume things start going wrong. It intrigues me. And Marissa Mayer is an author I have a soft spot for. She kind of got me back into reading with before I stopped reading, I loved the Lunar Chronicles. Then when I was getting back into reading, I read the Renegade series. Which I wouldn't reread today, but there's something about her that I do have a soft spot for. Then we have The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. This is a pseudonym for V.E. Schwab and another writer. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the other writer. I can't remember, but anyway, this is like a murder mystery from V.E. Schwab and a co-author, and I'm so excited. Also, I want to get Mind Sight. Which is like a Luma Crates new mystery thriller, I think. Dark Academia subscription box, and this is the first book, and I need to get on that Mind Sight subscription list. Like, I need it. I have always been so jealous of all the fancy readers because you get all the special editions. Telling me I can get beautiful editions of like murder mysteries.
Give it to me now!
Anyways, this one is super fun. There's like an island that all these struggling authors are brought to. It's the island of a really well-known author. They turn up, he's dead. And his most recent book has been mostly written, but the ending has not been finished, and they are given 72 hours to finish it. However, I'm assuming some murderiness starts happening, some crazy shit starts happening. I can't wait. I'm super excited for this one. I feel like a lot of people are. The Faraway Inn by Sarah Beth Durst is a YA cozy fantasy from Sarah Beth Durst, and we follow a young girlie who goes to her aunt's B&B. I feel like it's in Vermont or something, you know what I mean? That kind of vibe. It could not be Vermont. I feel like I might have made that up, or that is a piece of information my brain has managed to keep from the synopsis.
I'm a genius. I'm a fucking genius.
But soon discovers there is something a bit magical going on at the B&B. Then we have Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. Oh, okay, let me just tell you. The reviews for this that are coming in already, obviously Half His Age has been released to the message, but like that having a low average rating, this has got like a 4.55 average rating. Let me tell you, when Taylor Adams does it, he does it right. This one, we're following two friends who go like cave exploring, which like, why would you do that? I would not do the cave. Like, you know, when they like lie down and like go into no. But they meet someone who's like a fellow caver, but I think he attacks them, and like the synopsis implies maybe kills one of them, and then we're reading from the perspective after the attack of one of them who's in hospital recounting to detectives what happens. Let me tell you, the way Taylor Adams does like suspense, drama, shock, tension, I'm not sure anyone else can do it like him. Like, it's impeccable. This is another one of my most anticipated releases. Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke sounds super interesting. It's about a woman who is like a trad wife influencer. I think it's very much inspired by that one woman who's a trad wife influencer, but her husband is like really rich, and it's kind of like they're portraying a certain lifestyle. The guy he gave her like an apron for her birthday, I felt like. But anyway, in the book, this woman gets transported back to the 1800s, living her life, but then she actually has to live her life. Like, the nannies and the staff and the help aren't there. She actually has to, like, be on the farm in the muck. You know what I mean? It sounds super interesting. It sounds super fun. Bit ridiculous. I'm very much looking forward to it. Then we have the new release from Gillian McAllister, who's one of my favourite thriller authors. This one, Call It Unknown, is about a mother and a daughter. I think the daughter's about to go to university, and they decide to go on like a road trip across Texas, I think, or the United States together. And they're in a motel. The mother wakes up, finds her daughter missing. There's a phone left behind and says, "You're gonna give us what we want. You're not gonna contact the police. That's the only way you're gonna get your daughter back." And I think it's her. She decides, I'm not gonna contact the police. I'm gonna do this myself. And it's her trying to get her daughter back. And I really enjoy doing the McAllister books, but I'm yet to find something that has the magic the Wrong Place, Wrong Time had, so I'm hoping this might be it. Then He Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Jews. I know this author had a super popular horror book, I think like last year or the year before, or I think has been like a really popular up-and-coming horror author. This one is a horror about a mother, I think, meets this new husband. Everything in life sounds amazing. He moves her, an autistic son, to this new house, and she's pregnant, but then her son starts saying like, "I hear voices in the walls, the house is not happy with the renovations we're doing to it," and things start snowballing from there. I really want to read this author. I've heard such great things, so maybe this will be where I start. Who knows? Then we have The Many by Sylvain Neuvel. Now, Sylvain Neuvel is one of my favourite sci-fi authors. I think his books have this wit, this charm. I'm currently reading a series from him. I think I need to still read the last one, another sci-fi series, but this one is a standalone, and it's about, I think, these 5 people who all develop the same consciousness. So I think it's this interesting sci-fi, but I think it also has like humour and wit and charm, so I'm very excited for that one. Then The Caretaker. I can never say this man's last name, I'm so sorry to this man. Marcus Clua. We know I can't pronounce anything on the best of days, and I currently feel like someone's stabbing me in the back of my skull. Guys, it's really bad. This is the author of We Used to Live Here, which everyone loved. I found okay. But this one intrigues me. It's The Caretaker, and someone basically answers, this woman I think, answers this advert for a caretaker to live in this house for 3 days for a lot of money. And she's just like, go on then. But then again, things aren't what they seem. I really want to enjoy this author. I feel like I could. There was something about that book that didn't work for me that did work for other people, but maybe this one will work. Japanese Gothic by Khalida Baker. There's 2 timelines, one in present day, one in Japan in like the 1800s. Shit, this one's left my brain.
I don't remember, love. I don't remember at all. I really don't. It was an awful long time ago.
What is this one about? There's like there's a lot to do with fathers, I feel like, in this one. Okay, yeah, someone kills their college roommate. And he's like, I'm gonna flee to my father's new house in Japan. And then in the 1800s, as a young samurai, a monster came home from war wearing her father's face. Oh, interesting. Ghosts. A house. Okay. Miss Mabel Goes Back to the Shopping Board by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I'm finding it very surprising that she's writing like another elderly woman murder mystery book that isn't Vera Wong's. Like, part of me just thinks Vera Wong is like the most amazing character ever. So why not just continue writing her? But anyways, this one we're following this elderly woman. She's very attractive. Her husband was, you know, married her. She kind of was the perfect housewife, although I don't think she ever cooked, which is part of the plot in this. He has an affair, and she's like, I'm gonna win him back by learning to cook, because I think the affair was with her private chef. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna learn to cook. So she goes to like England to learn culinary school, but then she makes this friend there, and then the friend disappears, and she endeavours to find it out. I think it's got really good early reviews. I'm excited about it. Make Me Better by Sarah Gailey. I've never read Sarah Gailey, but this one is like wellness cult, and I love a good wellness cult book. I think that's all you need to know. It's a wellness cult book. Wellness cult. Does that ring a bell to everyone else? It rings bells to me. There's a lot of culty books on the list. A lot of culty books. The Library After Dark by Andy Plago. This was the author of You Are Faithfully Invited, which I didn't read last year, and loads of people told me I would enjoy. Maybe I'll still get to it at some point, although I have 10,000 books. It's Locked Room. I think maybe a murder mystery, or there's at least a mystery going on, and it's a librarian with like a tour group, but then things start going wrong. Listen, if you're like my age, you grew up in the UK, that Doctor Who episode set in the library, I don't know why it's giving you those vibes. I don't think it's supernatural like the Doctor Who one, but just the idea of like murders happening in a library and like unknown stuff and this group of characters forced together, it excites me. The Midnight Train by Matt Haig, I've stuck on here. This seems to be like a bit of a sequel to The Midnight Library. I think this allows you to like relive your past and maybe make different decisions. We'll see. We'll see. Another one that we'll see about that I've kind of chucked on here, We Could Be Anyone by Anna Marie McLemore. I've loved some Anna Marie McLemore stuff in the past. They are just such an incredible author. But the synopses like kind of always only half get me. This one I think there's like siblings in the Golden Age of... I love Golden Age of Hollywood though. There's a few Golden Age of Hollywood stuff on here, and I just think, like, why do we not have more Golden Age of Hollywood books? I think it's such a great environment for drama, for betrayal, for all tragedy. Like, it's just, anyways.
It's all the drama, Mick. I just love it.
And I think it's these siblings who kind of, like, steal. They're, like, you know, they're scam artists, I think, and they want to do their biggest job yet, but then things start going wrong. All of these books are basically, this is the premise, but things start going wrong. I have skipped 10,000 books. Okay, we're going back in time. From Japanese Gothic to Miss Mabel, I skipped like 8 books. Rewind. Okay, Molka by Monica Kim is following this, like, there's this I guess, sadly a trend going on in Korea of men like surreptitiously filming women in like changing rooms or stuff. And we're following a woman who is a victim of that, who wants revenge, baby. I love a revenge book. There's a few revenge books on here and I love it. We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. I fear this is gonna make me cry. I fear this is gonna make me cry. We're following this elderly gay husband couple who love each other very much, but the end of the world is coming. There is a black hole coming to subsume Earth in like a month. And yeah, everyone's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. And they decide to go on this trip, I think from Maine to Washington State to like solve something. They have unfinished business, but they're on like a road trip and they're meeting people along the way, people who are like getting married last minute while they still can, etc. Or people who are kind of in denial that this is happening. And I think it's gonna be very emotional and sad. Then a bit of a ridiculous one, A Murder in Hollywood by Michael Crichton, the author of Jurassic World. Jurassic Park. Someone shoot me.
Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. They love you.
I don't even like the Jurassic one. I don't think I've ever seen them. Or I saw the first one, but trash. Anyways, Jurassic Park. A Murder in 1970s Hollywood. Michael Crichton, for some reason, I maybe haven't followed his career, so maybe this is something he does. But to me, he's Jurassic Park guy, and now he's writing like a murder mystery in Hollywood. Go on then. You know what I mean? Sure, let's do it. A Long and Speaking Silence by Nevo should not be on here because I am not up to date. I've got one to read in the Singing Hill cycle, but I love the Singing Hill cycle. So let me just put it here. I don't really know the plot because I'm not up to date, but here we go. The Last Contract of Asako by Fonda Lee. Ooh, space opera with the contract samurai. Fonda Lee's sci-fi debut. A corporate contracted samurai, like gets paid to kill people in space. Sign me the fuck up. Honey by Imani Thompson was another revenge book.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
This is Gully, whose best friend tells her, I've been having an affair with this professor and he's just stolen all of my research. And she's like, that's fucked. She leaves. She then happens to run into this professor who I think is like allergic to bees, and he gets killed by a bee in front of her. And she's like, I actually quite enjoyed seeing that. Let me just kill men, shitty men. I think it's her killing shitty men. I'm down for it. Dissection of a Murder by Joe Murray. I think is gonna be like a big like legal book. I think particularly like in the UK. We're following, I think, a lawyer who gets paired onto this case for the murder, I think, of her husband's mentor. And she like has no experience. She should not be doing this bigger case. It's like the biggest case in the country, right? And she's been put on it for some reason. But the guy who supposedly is on trial for committing the crime, has asked for her as his attorney. And it goes from there. It's had very, very good early reviews. Okay, now we're getting back in time. Skipping now to end of May. Safari Murder Party. Yeah. This is a corporate trip. This trip for this company. It's a really well-known company. I think we're following like the assistant to the head of the company and his son. And they turn up and he's dead. And he's like, whoever gets to survive this weekend or something gets to inherit the company. And then just loads of like wild animals are released on this corporate work trip, and like people are getting killed by lions and shit. It sounds ridiculous. I think it's gonna be really, really fun. Breakout is the next book by the 6 authors. Let me see if I can name them all who are writing books together. I've read Blackout by them. I own Whiteout, which have been like YA romancy. This seems to be like murder mystery. So we've got John Hill Clayton, Nick Stone, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nicola Yoon, Angie Thomas. I've forgotten one. The cover will be hit. Who have I forgotten? Oh, it's annoying. I can't remember. Anyways, this is like a murder mystery from them, where I think these students from this like prep school, one of them invites the other ones to like his family's island or some shit, but then murders start happening. I'm very intrigued to read this kind of thing from them after they've been writing like YA romances in this series. So very intriguing. The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham. Of course it has to be here. I'm very excited for this. Our very own Cindy's first book. It's so exciting. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. I think we're following sisters. This would be embarrassing if I get this one wrong, but I've probably got loads of these synopses a little bit wrong. And they go into like the dream world of one of them, and Briar Rose is one of their like dream alternate personalities. I'm very intrigued by it. It sounds lush, it sounds vivid, it sounds beautiful. Okay, this is really serious, guys. This is probably my most anticipated release of the first half of the year. Like, it's really serious. Like, I don't think I can... Okay, let me collect myself. Okay. The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine motherfucking Arden. Motherfucking Arden! I can't move too much because of the pain, but let me tell you, I would be like bouncing off the walls. This is Catherine motherfucking Arden's new release. This is set in Brittany. We're following a girlie who, like, Brittany's being conquered. She's supposed to be getting married off to the King of France. She's like, I'm not doing that. The unicorns get involved somehow. Medieval setting, unicorns, magic, Catherine motherfucking Arden. Like, it's so serious to me.
And there's nothing that can be done because of the laws across New...
I don't think you understand. It's so serious to me. Deadly serious to me. I am so passionate about this. I love Catherine Arden, and so I just can't wait to see what she does with this. Like I say, with all of her like historical books, her writing and the magic system always somehow reflects that historical setting in a very interesting way. She's like a chameleon, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. The Heirs by Farida Abike Imede. We need to chat about it. This is Farida Abike Imede's last chance with me. Well, actually, it's my last chance with her. Like, it's not fair for me to keep reading an author whose books I don't enjoy. However, her synopses always get me. They always get me. This one, we're following the heirs to this, like, rich ass... There's a lot of, like, rich men dying, which I enjoy. This, like, tycoon billionaire. We're following, I think, his, like, 5 or 6 adopted children. There's this ball. He gets mad at the ball. They need to find out what happened. But also, there's other people with secrets. They have their own secrets. I really like the sound of it, but, like, I've never enjoyed a book by her. And so, this is our last chance. The Secrets We Hide by Karen Slaughter is the sequel to We Are All Guilty Here, which I adored. And there's not really a plot about this. I think there's some kind of, like, assault that happens, but then also Emmy, who we followed a lot in the first book, the sheriff's daughter, is going to investigate it. I loved We Are All Guilty Here. I cannot wait for this to be a series. Small town, secrets. Oh, it was so accomplished, so mature, We Are All Guilty Here. So very, very excited for this one. The Death Row Club by V.A. Vasquez is like another, like, there's a lot of kind of like isolated setting murder mystery group brought together under suspicious circumstances books on this list. But what can I say? This is all the children of serial killers. We've had the wives of serial killers. Now it's the children of serial killers all brought to this, like, event. I think they all hold some like macabre thing that they all do, and murders start happening. Of course. And we've got to investigate it. Sounds wonderful. One and Only by Maureen Gu. I really enjoyed Throwback by Maureen Gu. I think this is her adult debut, and it's about this woman who I think their family kind of has traded in being able to find people's soulmate, and she is still not yet to find her soulmate, and she meets this guy who's a bit younger than her. I think she's 40 and he's 28. And I think maybe she's been told how she would meet her soulmate once, and he doesn't fit that description, but she starts falling for him. It sounds very interesting. I really liked what she did with Throwback. She always has this kind of speculative element to her books that are really, really fun. And then finally, we have like a novella, short story. I'm not really sure what form this is going to take yet. A Darker Shore by Leigh Bardugo. This is technically 2.5 in the Six of Crows series. I read the plot, and I think part of my brain was like, this book is 60 pages. I don't want to know much. There's correspondence between Kaz Brecker and an unknown person on a ship who only refers to themselves in these letters called as I. It's Six of Crows. I love Six of Crows. I gotta admit, I do love Six of Crows, and so I am very excited. I'm very excited to see what Leigh Bardugo does with this. So there we go. That is my most anticipated releases for the first half of the year. That video was long, and like I say, I am in pain. I hope I did okay. I think there were a few moments where the eyes closed over, but I wanted to chat about this with you. I want to chat about this. I finally feel like I'm like checked in on 2026. Like I'm locked in. I'm going to be doing next week my 26 books to read in 2026, and I'll put a few of these on here. I feel like though there's not as many like standouts for me of like most anticipated books of the year. Or I feel like a lot of mine are actually in the second half of the year, like my top most anticipated. But all of these really intrigue me. Like all of these are like a 7.5 out of 10. Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden, 10 out of 10. I'm not sure I have another 10 out of 10 though, other than the Unicorn Hunters, right? There's a few 9s, like the Karen Slaughter is probably a 9. The Taylor Adams is probably a 9. But the Evelyn Clark maybe even a 9. But there's like not as many standouts as there usually is. but everything is kind of just like a really high standard, I feel like. So let me know if you're excited about any of these. Please let me know which of these you think I will enjoy the most and I should prioritize getting to. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you very soon in another one. Bye!